everybody. So last time we talked, we were trying to decide if we were taking a trip to go to Oklahoma. And I need to fill you guys in on what happened because it has been a crazy couple of days. And we've accomplished quite a lot, I think, in those days. So long story short, we did go to Oklahoma, but getting there was really interesting. So we started off and I'm trying to think of where we were with you guys. We needed to go to Colorado because one, we had someone that was interested in the truck in Colorado. Big deal. And two, luckily we had a friend in Colorado that was willing to help us out with somewhere to keep the camper while we figured this all out. So what we ended up doing was we went to Colorado and we basically had to figure everything out in a really short amount of time and make these fast decisions. So pretty much the night before, we went there, had to take everything out of the truck to empty it, right, and throw it all here in the camper. And then we had to take the old camper tie downs off of the truck and all that in case the guy was serious, and all the while not really knowing if the guy's even going to be serious and want the truck. So this is oh boy, what's gonna happen? And then kind of going back and forth because we had a few other trucks for us maybe that we wanted to buy, and we had maybe one other person that had contacted us at that point that might have been interested, but we weren't sure who was serious. So it's kind of all crazy. Point is the night before I'm running this all through my head and doing the calculations and stuff, and it was kind of a plan A, plan B sort of back and forth where I was like, okay, plan B, good, we're decided. Wait, okay, hold on. No, plan A. Okay. And then at midnight, I'm waking up Ramsey and hey, wait, we were wrong. Back to the other plan. So literally last minute decision, deciding what we're going to do the next day. So we just thought we had a plan, and we wake up the next morning early, get everything together, go meet the guy, and meanwhile, I'm oh, okay, so if he is interested, then we're going to need a rental car at this point. And we weren't exactly sure what to do about that. That was fly on me. So we're okay, we don't want to rent the car out in case this guy doesn't buy the truck, right? So we didn't rent a car out, and we thought, well, we'll probably be okay based on what it sounded like. I looked and they had cars. So 7 a.m. the next day when we're, up getting ready to do all this stuff, I'm looking, still have cars. Okay, we'll be fine. So you probably know where this is going. So we go, we meet the guy. Long story short on that one, he wanted it. Everything went pretty smooth. It was really good. So he straight up buys the truck right there. And we're okay, this is good. But we need a rental car. So I had mapped it out the night before, and there was a rental car place right down the road a few blocks. So we went there. We go walking in, and they look at us no, we have no cars at all. And we're not at all? Oh my gosh. So, we needed everything to happen. And meanwhile, we left the dogs with our friend at our friend's house. So we need to get back there somehow, and it's way across town. We're at the northern part of town, and it's way at the southern part of town. So, okay, so no cars. And the only other rental car place, it's really far away. So now we need to hitch a ride all the way to this other rental car place and hope they have something. So we do that. We're on our way. I'm looking and okay, they say they have a car, and I'm booking it, and we get there and they're yeah, we have a car. So, okay, good. So we got a rental car. Good. We got this little Toyota Corolla. It was the, cheapest, most economy car that they had. So that was good. And, so good. We're all set. So we get in the rental car. Now we got to go back, and we got to get the dogs and get going and get on the road. So we drive all the way back south, and we get everything loaded up and load up food and snacks and blankets and paperwork. And then we realize that we're missing something, and the thing that we're missing is important because it's my wallet. So where is it, right? That's the hardest thing for us to figure out, because we've been shuffling paperwork back and forth between each other and doing all this and stressed and thinking about stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, we don't even know where it's at now. So we're backtracking, and our best guess was that when we hitched a ride, that it was probably left at that point somewhere. So fortunately, we actually were able to get in contact with the guy that gave us a ride, and we were able to go meet him. So we had to go back to the northern part of town. Now, meanwhile, we're going south to actually leave the state, but we go back up north, meet the guy. He says, look in the car, go for it. And I'm looking and looking, and I'm not seeing it. And then I happen to look under the front seat. Why not? And there it is, sitting there. So it must have slid under the seat, and in the shuffle, we didn't keep track of stuff, and oh boy. So it was a crazy feeling of super anxiety, oh my gosh, this isn't gonna work, and then okay, we have it, we have everything we need, let's just go and get on the road, it is what it is. And now, of course, time is ticking too, and we're supposed to be on the road already. So, okay, so whatever, we get ourselves together, everything, get on the road, and once we get on the highway, lo and behold, a big accident on the highway, on the interstate, and we basically just crawled through traffic for a long time. So that was pretty much the start of our road trip. And finally we got going, but it was way later in the day than we had intended, and we get ourselves finally out of Colorado, off the busy front range, and into Kansas, where it's a lot quieter. So that was happy. But we weren't really able to make it as far as we wanted, and we were exhausted. So eventually it gets dark, we're tired and all this, and we're like, okay, we need to stop and sleep somewhere. So we, look for rest stops and Walmarts and stuff, find a place to sleep, we pull in, and fine. But remember, we're in a Toyota Corolla. There's 2 people and 3 dogs. And yeah, we weren't getting a hotel and wasting money on that at the time, so we were just going to snooze a little bit. So we had to make it work. But, this coming from people who lived in a Ford Escape for several years, which is small enough. But yeah, if anybody's out there traveling and sleeping in a Corolla, then kudos, because that thing was not very comfortable at all. It was very efficient on gas, but it was very uncomfortable to sleep in. I wouldn't recommend that as a life on the road vehicle per se, unless you're one person, I guess. So, Ram slept in the front seat, in the passenger side, and I tried to sleep in the back with the dogs, and it's still sort of an angle. And so we had the seats down. Well, the angle didn't work out very nicely, because as I dozed off, my body would just fall down the slope, and I was essentially sleeping in the trunk of a Toyota Corolla. That was my night. So needless to say, neither one of us slept very well at all. And this is night, 2 or 3 or whatever, of not sleeping very well. So whatever, we made it work. We got up really early. It was still dark out, and we're nudging each other, hey, let's just get going. We're not sleeping. So we get going. Okay, fast forward. We get to Oklahoma. We meet the person that's selling the vehicle. Kind of long story short there. He was up front, seemed really great. When we got there, sort of not quite as great, but whatever. That's kind of sad, because it was up to that point going pretty well. I think he just knew that we had driven that far and had a rental car, so seemed like the deal was on. And kind of was, because we knew all the specs of the trucks, and there weren't any bad surprises when we got there. We did find something now that has higher payload, and that's pretty much the story, and that's what we needed. Something that had good payload, and something that wasn't going to, hopefully, won't strand us in the middle of nowhere. And, we'll at least be reliable for some time, because it's our home. So, yeah, we made the little switcheroo, and then, fast forward, we had to obviously drive back from Oklahoma, drive to Colorado. We had to go through Denver first, out of our way, because we had to get new camper tie-downs. We're going to have to sell the old ones because they're specific to trucks. Go down through there, get to the place in a hurry, sort of, throw everything back where it needs to go, and put the new camper tie-downs on, which was actually a big job. It took us, the evening, and it was dark, so then we slept again in the camper. And then we left Colorado. So we're out of Colorado, we're heading west, we're back on the road, and we got a new, you know, sort of component of our home, I guess. Not really a completely new home. This part gets to stay the same. Cool part about the camper. But yeah, we got a new truck. So what I'll do is, I'm tired right now. I'm going to take a nap right now. And tonight or tomorrow when I get a chance, probably tomorrow morning, I'll get Rams and we'll maybe put together a little like meet the new rig video together. Again, it's going to be kind of new, but kind of not that new. This is kind of the same setup, but I'm sure you guys still want to meet it anyway. And we'll do that. We'll do that hopefully tomorrow. So that's the update. That's the story of our incredible, maybe not even 2-day adventure of getting a new vehicle when you live in your vehicle and don't have a permanent home. Little tricky, but worked as a team, and here we are back on the road. So happy to be here, and once we get some naps in, I think we'll feel a little better, and then we're just gonna dive right back into adventure. And heck, we'll be going to the Southwest in no time because winter's upon us. So okay, that's it for today, guys. I'll keep you updated, and hopefully we'll have more adventures to share soon. So see you next time, guys. Bye.